Hello and welcome to Sri Raj IAS. My name is Shashank Roy and I'm here with a new topic. And this topic is coming from African continent. War state begins, Burkina Faso, democracy over. So, Africa as a continent is always important for UPSC aspirants for GS paper 2. In 2024, there was a question related to Sahel region and there are continuous conflict going on. There are multiple locations from which the questions might come in UPSC prelims, such as Sudan and South Sudan, Burkina Faso, right, Mali, Nigeria, or multiple landlocked countries where conflict is going on. So please pay attention to Africa as a continent. Also, Africa becomes important because there is a war going on related to access and control of critical minerals. Critical mineral is the new. Earlier in 20th century, the war was related to um, oil, but now the war is going to take place for accessing and control of critical minerals. So multiple powers are entering into, multiple powers such as United States of America, Russia and China, they are entering into Africa. They are coming, making an alliance, and they are ensuring that they are controlling the resources, mineral resources of Africa. So this is it. Let's talk about GS paper 2. West Asia, West Africa geopolitics, role of external players, France and Russia. Regional groupings, read about ECOWAS and Sahel Alliance or Sahel region. What is Sahel region? Where is it located? In GS paper 3, terrorism, Al Qaeda, ISIS affiliates, counterinsurgency challenges, state and non-state actors. In GS paper 1, society, humanitarian crisis, displacement and governance breakdown. Now the question I want to start with, let me make a rough diagram of Africa as a continent. I'm not sure if I wanted to make Africa, but it became Latin America. So just ignore it. Accept it as South Africa. Now tell me one question. What makes a country great? What makes a country great? What makes a country great? Is it the mineral resources? Is it the mineral resources? Right? Is it the size of the country? Is it the population? Is it access to markets or trade route? Is it the government? Is it technology? Right? So what makes a country great? Kindly answer my question in the comment section. Kindly answer my question in the comment section. What makes a country great? किसी देश को कौन कौन सी चीजें महान बनाती हैं? किसी देश को कौन कौन सी बातें जो हैं वो महान बनाती हैं? Right? So, what makes a country great? Is it the technology or the government or the mineral or the size of the country or the population or market or trade access or yeah, what makes? Why am I asking this question? Because if you look at Africa, Africa is the only continent through which Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Cancer, Equator and Capricorn passes. Again, Africa as a continent is also known as a dark continent. Dark continent. Why? Because this continent is still underdeveloped, one of the most underdeveloped regions, one of the most underdeveloped continents. Multiple countries are there who are having humanitarian crisis. People are malnourished, hungry. Majority of African nations are living below poverty line. So, dark continent and the only continent through which Tropic of Cancer, Capricorn and Equator passes. The irony is that Africa is abundant. Africa is abundant in mineral resources. Africa is abundant in mineral resources, but despite having abundant critical minerals or resources, still Africa is lagging behind on multiple indices of Human Development Index. Again, there are civil wars going on, right? Genocide is going on, such as Sudan and South Sudan, right? And there is one more infamous belt that is known as Sahel region. The Sahel region, one of the most unstable areas. So let's talk about the article now. This is Sahel region. I want you to do a mapping of this entire region. I want you to do a mapping of this entire region. Sahel is a belt sandwiched between Mauritania, Mali, Niger, Egypt, and this is the area which is completely barren, but the problem is this area is completely barren, and this area is the most unstable region of the world. Again, multiple militant organization, terrorist organization, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and different organizations are making inroads into this region. Again, various countries are entering it. Russia, China, France, they have a strategic interest in this region, especially with regards to critical minerals. So, look at this one, Burkina Faso. I want you to do a mapping of Burkina Faso, right? How to do that? In a clockwise and anti-clockwise way, right? So Burkina Faso, then look at the countries, Niger, right? And then Benin, Togo, map all the countries in clockwise and anti-clockwise manner. Look at this one. This is the map of Burkina Faso. What this article is all about? This article is all about the instability in the region and the rise of dictators, the collapse of democracy and the rise of dictators, and what these dictators are doing. So, Geopolitics of Sahel explained, read it in your free time. Now, core idea, Burkina Faso is not just a coup story, it represents a shift from democracy to security driven governance. Now, all the dictators who are coming from military rank and holder, they do not have any respect for democracy, right? They are paying more attention to security driven governance, because only then they can put forward their interest and control the entire regime, right? Now, foundation, why Burkina Faso matters. Strategic entry. Burkina Faso lies in Sahel region, which is the global epicenter of terrorism. These countries, this entire Sahel region is the global epicenter of terrorism. It is known for weak governance, porous borders, and resource crunch. And resource crunch is already there, and when there is a resource crunch, conflict are bound to happen. Now, these factors combine to create chronic instability in the region. So, we can say Sahel is an epicenter of terrorism or laboratory of conflict. Now, what happens here reflects future global instability patterns in Africa as a continent. Now, what is the problem in this entire area? The states are weak, rise of insurgency, military takeover, and democracy rollback, because all the dictators who are controlling these regimes, they were a part of military regime. They decided to go for the coup, yani takhta palat, and then they are controlling the entire country militarily, and they have no respect for democracy. And this is not happening only in Burkina Faso. Mali, Niger, Chad, Sudan, all these countries are facing this kind of repeated pattern. Now, core module, democracy versus security. Now, statement by the leadership. The leader of Burkina Faso, the military ruler, says, military leader has clearly declared that democracy is no longer the priority of Burkina Faso, and the country is in a popular progressive revolution. It means that election will be postponed, political parties will be suspended, institutions will be dissolved. And who this leader is? This leader's name is Ibrahim Traore, right? So, core module, democracy versus security. The military leader has clearly declared democracy is no longer the priority. Country is in a popular progressive revolution, means no respect for democracy. Elections postponed and political parties suspended. Restore order before restoring democracy. Now, the Burkina Faso leader says that security first governance may stabilize short term but weaken long term legitimacy. Means democracy is being reframed as a luxury in crisis. Means, in short, we can say that these leaders who are coming from the military ranks, they do not have any respect for democracy. So they are trying to propagate the idea that democracy is a luxury in crisis. Democracy is a model which is bound to fail in countries like Africa, countries like Burkina Faso. So instead of democracy, they are promoting military rule to put forward their agenda. Now, internal threat. The ground reality is Burkina Faso has become the global epicenter of extremism. Approximately 25% of global terror attacks took place in this region. Now, there are militant activities there related to Al Qaeda and ISIS linked groups who are working here, who are trying to control large swathe of Africa. Now, geography of conflict. Geography plays a critical role in making a region prosper or full of conflict. Rural north and east, there are high insurgency zones in Burkina Faso. The state control is sinking, and non state actors are expanding as Al Qaeda and ISIS. Now, the warning is terrorism thrives where state presence is weak or local grievances exist. If people's grievances are not addressed, they rise in revolt. Instead of supporting the government, they will support the military leaders. Now, counter-insurgency and human rights crisis in this region. Now, military and militia operations are taking place. Aggressive counter-terror strategy is happening. But despite all this, 1,200 people lost their life in 2023 to 25. Allegations of brutality and rising fear among local community for ethnic violence. So this is what is happening in Burkina Faso. Coup politics and trust deficit in this entire Sahel region. In this entire Sahel region, you'll find a common pattern. What is that pattern? That pattern is like this. That pattern is like this. First of all, there will be a coup, and this coup will be done by military ruler, military leader. This military leader will dissolve or coup तख्ता पलट होगा किसका? Democratically elected leader. Democratically elected leader will be removed, and now these military leaders will control everything. They will start ruling, and they will have a disrespect for democracy. They will have a disrespect for democracy, and this is a repeated pattern in multiple nations in Sahel region, such as Mali, Niger, Chad, Sudan, and now Burkina Faso. Right? So remember this pattern. This is a repeated pattern, and this is what is happening. So multiple coup attempts have taken place. Assassination plots have taken place. Internal rivalries are there. There is a trust deficit between the government, political elite. Citizens distrust institutions, and military distrust democracy. That's why military rulers, they do not appreciate democracy. Now, global power shift. There is another pattern that global powers are entering into this arena. Global powers, such as Russia's such as Russia's Wagner Group was active in this region. Again, China is making inroads into this region. France was also a dominant player, but there are anti-France sentiment against this country. Again, in African nations, many Saudi countries are interfering in their local politics. So this is what is happening. So global power shift from France to Russia. French forces got expelled because of anti-French sentiments, and Russia becomes a key partner. Russia is trying to control or influence this region. Now, why this shift is happening? Because of anti-colonial sentiments played against France, and security support from Russia, and disillusionment with the West. So the idea is that Middle East countries and the global superpowers are making inroads into Africa to control the resources. right? So this is it in this article. Again, democracy and war state. Leadership says that elections are distractions and war is a priority. So they do not have any respect for democracy. War is a priority. And yep, this is it. If you talk about India's dimension, terrorism, there is a spillover risk for India. Energy and resource related problems may happen because India has invested substantially in Africa, especially for energy sources. India has done a lot of work in terms of humanitarian grounds, and everything will be washed out if there is an instability in African region. Diplomatic engagement in Africa and India's approaches, balancing security cooperation and development partnership within African regions. So this is it. This was not so a big topic, right? What is important is look at Burkina Faso. Now, do a mapping of this entire region in a clockwise and anti-clockwise manner, right? So mapping is important. This article was not so critical, but I did that because Africa is always important for mapping perspective. Thank you so much. Wish you a wonderful day ahead. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.